Hey guys, I'm Bob from Totally Unique Life, and we're here today to talk about insulating the inside walls of a shed in between the studs. And what I decided to use for my insulation, and there are many different materials you can use for walls as well as ceilings, I decided to use this PolyPro insulation foam board over here. I'm going to grab it real quick. The one I use is an inch thick, and it has a R value of over 6. So this sheet is 1 inch by 4 feet by 8 feet long, kind of like plywood. I picked up about 13 sheets of that for doing my inside walls of my shed here. I recently purchased a 𝙨𝙚 propane heater, and I realized quickly, living in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, that I needed some insulation in the walls and in the ceiling if I wanted to maintain any type of warm temperature in the cold days. So there are a number of tools, just a few tools that you need to cut this insulation foam board. And the most important one is a utility knife, and this one is made by 𝐒𝐡𝐞. Lowe's has many different 𝐒𝐡𝐞 tools, and so that's why I purchased this. It also comes with a nice little carrying case and a bunch of different cutters. I think I paid 15 bucks for this utility knife and the case and all the different cutters. I'll leave links in the description of any of these tools that I use here today. A Sharpie, so that you can just measure when you need to measure anything with your tape measure. You want to make a mark on the foam board for cutting. And here's a 12-foot Stanley tape measure. It's metal. I love this one. I'd recommend it highly. It's small enough that it'll fit on your belt. It also has a belt loop here. And probably another one of the most important tools that you want to use or have is a drywall T-square. This is a 48-inch one. I don't know if they make them longer. They probably do. But if you have to go with a long, 8-foot cut, you can just double it up. But this is perfect for doing cuts. Now I'd like to just give you a quick tour of my shed before we cut any foam board. Okay, so here's my shed. It's a 12 by 24 shed that I actually bought from Home Depot. They built it from scratch. They delivered all the wood. I do not have a garage, so I needed some place to store my woodworking tools as well as my workout equipment. So let's take a walk inside. It's a mess right now because I'm in the process of insulating and moving stuff around. But as you can see, I've already insulated maybe almost half of the shed, a little less. This side here is insulated, and I wanted to show you real quick the reason I chose the 1-inch foam board is so that I can still have room to put stuff like wood here in between the studs. So there's still some storage capability for wood or whatever I want to put there. Is a kind of a curl bar, that one down there. But anyway, it really looks nice. You want to, when you install the foam board, you want to put the reflective material on the inside. And it's very easy to cut. It's like styrofoam. You cut around the outlets here. Kind of made a little bit of a mess, but it's no big deal. Did the same over here. Did a little better job here. It's okay to have some little spaces for the conduit, which holds the wire. But it looks really nice, and it has actually made a difference just doing this much so far. It has made a difference in holding heat inside the shed. See, I'm going to have to move out my workbench to get back there. I have to do this whole side over here. And up here in this section, which is the ceiling, I'm going to use rock wool, which is higher in R value and should fit right in between the studs. I haven't purchased that yet, but that'll be another video that I'll do on installing the ceiling insulation as well. So I have to start. I ended up the other day right around here, which is next to my double door. So I'm going to be cutting some small pieces for up there as well. I have to cut a full piece for there, and there's a bunch of small pieces I have to do over the door, and then I'm going to move all this stuff out so I can start working on the walls on that side as well. So let's just do a quick cut of some foam board. I'm going to, let's do this small piece. It's just a triangle. So I simply measured the length going here all the way over, which was 11 1/8. I measured the height going from bottom to top was 19, and I took a piece of foam board that I had left over, and I measured 11 1/8 across here and 19 going up here. Now I just need to cut it out and place it in between the studs. So here's a piece that's going right up in there in that triangular area. Here's my piece, and I'm going to set this on a tripod so that I can use both of my hands. Okay, so I'm just going to place this right into the triangular area. It should just fit right in nicely, and it does. So that's one piece done. Okay, so I cut that triangle, and I also cut a piece up there to fit above this section here. So now I'm going to do a more conventional cut. This goes almost to the top of the door. It's 8 1/4 inches wide by 91 1/2 long. So I'm going to use a full piece of foam board and cut it to fit right in to this wall. What's nice is that due to the fact that it's only 1 inch thick, it will fit in between this conduit, which is great. But I'll have to make a small cutout for this light switch. So let's cut this piece. One thing I wanted to show you right off the bat is that what I did use is a piece of T111 flipped upside down, and a couple of sawhorses underneath for my platform to do my cutting. Okay, so with this cut, it's actually 8 1/4 by 91 3/4. I actually wrote it down on another piece. So what I'm going to do is cut this lengthwise. First I'm going to measure 91 3/4. The board, it's all the edges should be square. I'm just going to get to the 3 marks that I made. At 91 3/4, and I'm just going to do my cut. I use an old piece of T111 for my platform. Originally, when I started cutting, I had the ridges on the underneath side, which occasionally it would hit the ridges that's on the T111. So I just flipped it upside down, and now it's a nice smooth platform. Now I'm just gonna do a quick run. Occasionally it punches up and it just pops off, basically. So that's my 91 3/4 length. So now I have to make a 8 3/4. Make sure that's the proper, no, 8 1/4 by 91 3/4. So all I'm going to do here is now it should just pop off. There's a plastic film at the bottom that you have to glue so it's completely disengaged. There we go. Here's our cut. 91 3/4 long and 8 1/4 inches wide. Let's just hope to double check. Yep, 8 1/4. 91 3/4. Perfect. So let's go and measure the height of the outlet. Okay, so I have to cut around this outlet. So I'm just going to measure up until, not to the face of the switch, but to the actual box. And it looks like it's right at 43.5, which is perfect. So 43.5 up, and I want to go over 2.5. So 43.5 up, over 2.5, and then up maybe 4. For the heck of it, I'm going to, so I just made a box, essentially, this box right here. And I can cut that freehand. So I'm just going to cut out this box freehand. I'm not going to use any guide. For the light switch. Being a woodworker, I try to be as accurate as possible when it comes to measurements. They say measure twice, cut once. Sometimes I measure 5 times, cut once. Alright, so you can see this is very forgiving material. It's easy to cut. Once again, there's going to be a lot of this styrofoam hanging around. Actually, this time of year you don't really see it against the snow. But let's bring it in and check it out. What I usually do is I try to start, if I can get this so you can see it, start from the bottom, push it in at the bottom, to do is take off the light switch right now. So I just removed the face plate from the switch, just a couple of screws, and now I'm going to try to insert a piece of foamboard. I'm going to have to cut a little bit around for the conduit. So that's essentially how it goes. So I'm here on the next day, and I've been doing some cuts, and I've made some progress. I've gotten around the whole door. I am going to insulate the back of the door as well eventually. All the way up there, starting to get onto this wall now. So just want to do a quick tutorial on just adding a piece of foam board in between the studs. Like, this is more of a traditional insulation of the walls instead of the small pieces I was doing up there earlier. So first I got to go out and cut the piece to all I did was measure in between the studs here. It's 14 1/4, and I think it's 65 1/2 from top to bottom. So I'm just going to use my utility knife and cut it out right now. I already cut the piece of foam board to length from top to bottom. So all I have to do now is measure 14 1/4 out here and out here. I already made some marks. I didn't make a line, I don't have to. As long as I line up the T-square with the marks I made. I'm just going to run the utility knife. What I like to do is then just run, pretty much split right now, but just run the utility knife all the way down the cut, and it'll basically just pop off like that. So now I have my 14, actually not that piece, I have my 14 1/4 right here by 65 1/2. So let me bring this in. I'm doing this all by myself with the tripod, so bear with me. So I'm just going to, I usually just tuck it in at the bottom. You want to make sure the bottom is flush. And then just kind of kick it lightly. To get around this. I have bark mats for my woodworking. I should take this thing down, but I think I can sneak it up under. I did. Okay. It's in. I just have to get the bottom. And it just grabs. If you cut it right, it just grabs inside of the studs, and it works beautifully. So hopefully you saw that without a problem. So it's all nice and snug all the way around. And what I do, as you can see, there was a lot of little bits of foam. I just use always keep my dry vac close by. I'm kind of a neat freak, and just vacuum it up as it happens. And so I'm making good progress. I'd like to get at least half of this wall done today. So here's the final product. I finished all of the inside shed walls. It took me a couple of weekends because I had to move around most of the woodworking equipment, etc., workout equipment in here. but it's done a nice job. Very happy with it. I'll be creating another video about doing the shed ceiling with a different material, rock wool. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and check out the video on insulating my shed doors, which is right here. That's what I did. But I'll also have a video about insulating the ceiling in the shed here. So please like and subscribe, and appreciate any comments you might have.